Hey everyone. So, yeah, I got a hatchet. So, a lot of people have found my channel from my how to load and unload a Mossberg shotgun content, which is fine. Go for it. I'm a little bothered by how many people are saying, I got this gun for home defense because someone told me it was the best thing to have, and they happen to be picking up a pump action shotgun. So I'm going to talk about what you can use for home defense or personal protection, but specifically in the area of the home. Personal protection when you're walking around, whatever, it's kind of what you can have on your body. Legally speaking, from a comfort factor, from a concealability standpoint, I'm not going to go into tactics of whether something's concealed or not or whatever, but you guys get the idea. But anyway, for home defense, we have a couple options. Number one, we can have nothing. We can have empty hands. This is fine. If this is what you choose, go for it. Get really good with that. Get really good with empty hands. You can also have improvised weapons, which is anything from like pots and pans, books, anything you can like throw at someone. But again, make sure you understand what that weapon's capabilities are. Anything can be a weapon. You can have a wrench. You can have a dead blow hammer. Probably not a great weapon. I mean, it would be effective, but ergonomically speaking, not really good. And that's it. And again, those would just be something you would pick up and go to town. That's not something I would ever stage, like by a door. That's not... You do you. Whatever. You have bladed weapons. This is where I start getting into lethality. Bladed weapons can be anything from something dedicated like this. I think this is CRKT Freya Axe, kind of hatchet. This is diesel, by the way. I would absolutely not want to get hit with this. Or you could have a pocket knife. Make sure you are comfortable with what these things will do. They are intimidating, but you don't want to rely on intimidation to protect you. Understand that if someone is either not mentally there enough to make the decision to not attack you, or they just decide, you know what, hey, I'm just going to go after this person, you know how to use something like this, and you are willing to use something like this, and everything that will happen when you plunge this into someone's body. I'm not saying you have to be okay with it from a, it's not going to be psychologically scarring or whatever, but I'm saying you have to be prepared to use something like this. And some people, guns do terrible things also, but they're a little easier to kind of detach yourself from the reality of that, of what you're actually doing to someone. So you have to be psychologically prepared yourself to defend yourself. These things, there's not really hiding from how gruesome something like this can be, or something like a knife can be. This will not stop someone, because we're not trying to kill someone, we're trying to stop them from attacking us. This will not stop them quickly. This might. This will stop them quicker than the pocket knife, but the knife will not stop someone quickly. You can watch YouTube videos, channels all around that show this kind of stuff, not from a gratuitous, almost like pornographic standpoint, but from a educational standpoint. People can get cut and stabbed and dismembered and still continue to hurt good people. Bad people can have these things happen to them and still continue to hurt good people. We as good people need to be able to defend ourselves. Putting this away for a second. And yes, I do keep this in my basement. It's awesome. Let's talk about firearms. Because a lot of people who have come to this channel have chosen firearms as their method of self-protection. So, this is my everyday carry gun. This is my gun that I carry most of the time right now. Glock 43, standard size with a red dot sight. I would not choose this if I was specifically defending my home. My furnace is kicking on, sorry about that. Anyway, I would not choose this if I'm specifically defending my home. It is small, doesn't have a lot of capacity, it's not easy to shoot accurately. You can definitely shoot it just as well as any other gun. But I would choose something bigger if I could, because our job is to stack the deck in our favor. The smallest firearm I would choose is something like a compact pistol. This is my Timberwolf Compact with a Zev slide and an RMR and a TLR7 on the front of this. All of this stuff is great. You don't need all of this. You can get something like a CZ75. This is the PCR, or 75 Compact D, also known as the PCR. Get something like this. This is a fine pistol, double action pistol, with a hammer, simple metal frame, good grip on it, and you're good to go. Advantages of a pistol is that it's concealable. Now, I don't have a holster on right now, but I can put the gun away. I can have it on my body, relatively concealed. If there's a knock at the door at 9 o'clock at night, because it's 9:13 right now, there can be a knock at the door at 9 o'clock at night, and I can go up to the door, see what's going on, and be armed and have my hands free to do whatever I need to do. Someone's car broke down, someone whatever. Also, you probably wouldn't want to go to the door if you don't know who that is, but again, setting yourself up for success. But if I need it, I can get it really quickly. Now, practice that. That wasn't the smoothest draw without a holster and all that stuff. Practice it, but again, you have that concealability and that ease of mobility. Also, if I need to grab someone, let's pretend this tripod is a person, a pet, whatever I need to move out of harm's way, I can do that. I have the ability to use my other hand and have the gun separately, detached from tying up both my hands. Downsides of a pistol. Not really effective. Like, handguns are effective. They do their thing. This is a 9mm round. This is tiny. It doesn't do a lot against a person. You generally have to shoot multiple times unless you are a very good shot and can shut down that central nervous system right away. So for this, you really have to put multiple shots and then hope the person drops. Watch police videos. First off, it's a dynamic environment. You're not just standing still at a square range doing your dry fire thing, whatever. You're moving, you're running, you're whatever, and you're just shooting as you're moving. So, again, especially inside your home, it's not like you're lining up for a 50-yard shot or something with a pistol. You are close quarter battle distances. Understanding that, I like to mount up with my Glock 17. This is my chosen home defense gun, and if things get really hairy, I put on my battle belt back here. I hook my holster to that, and that's good to go. I can also carry this concealed in this holster, Filster Floodlight, like so, and put that in my belt. Let's move on. Next option, my preferred option, is a rifle. I like the AR-15. It's kind of my chosen go-to. There's other really great rifles out there. I just like the ergonomics of the AR, and it's something that just feels good to me. It's also relatively lightweight. This is an SBR with a 12.5-inch barrel and a suppressor on the front. But I'm in Connecticut. You don't always have something like this, but you're good to go. Rifles are great. Not everyone has a tricked out AR with a suppressor and short barrel and all that jazz. You might not be able to legally have that in your area. Even if you don't, a bolt action, bastardized Mosin Nagant rifle from 1942 will work just fine. I don't recommend this. There are better pieces of equipment than this. This gun is totally doable from a self-defense standpoint. I would still prefer something like a shotgun over this, but I'm just including this in the rifle category because it'll work. 5 rounds of 7.62 by 54R. Excuse me, this is the silver. This is the silver tip ammo. 5 rounds of this stuff will be plenty. And holy hell, the fireball that comes out of this will knock your socks off. Anyone who's busted into your house will get an earful for sure. Definitely when you have any of these firearms, have hearing protection with you. I have some up there kind of in the back by the gas mask. Make sure you get good with that. Something like this is not going to give a lot of quick response. Make sure you know how to use it. The more old school, older design the firearm is, bolt action rifle, pump action shotgun, stuff like that, the more you have to be an expert and really get to know your firearm. Now, of all the pump action shotguns out there, first off, I wouldn't recommend a pump action. If you have the ability to use a semi-auto, use a semi-auto. They're easier. And if you're using buckshot, good loads of buckshot, you're not going to have an issue with reliability if you choose a quality semi-automatic firearm like a Beretta 1301, Beretta A300, or a Benelli of any sort. Mossberg semi-autos are really good. I don't have any experience with Remington semi-autos, but all of those other firearms are great. The pump action shotgun takes a lot more use because every single time you pull that trigger, you have to pump the firearm. You have to manually cycle it, and you, as the user, have to get really good at, I've just shot something, now immediately I'm going to pump, back on target, and shoot something. With a shoulder-fired shotgun, which this is not, it's a lot easier to stay on target and pump. Make sure you don't short stroke. This gun, the Shockwave, you do kind of have to break off target in order to get that pump going, and then pump it back and then go back on target. It's just a nuance of the gun. I would not recommend a pump action firearm for personal protection, and I would not recommend a Shockwave specifically, like the last of the pump action shotguns. Personally, I have a lot of experience. Scapulary. I have a lot of experience with break action, double barrel shotguns, over unders specifically. I would go for that before I went for this. For most shooters. For myself, I really like the Shockwave, but you have to really know your firearm. And that's kind of where this boils down to. And that whole video is to say that whatever you're choosing, get to know it. Get to know what it's going to do. Whether it's a Spiritico Paramilitary 2 pocket knife, or one of the many others, can you see them over there, that you can carry on your person. Whether you are carrying a fixed blade, like this little Mora Robust, whether you're carrying a... Let's have weapons all over the place. Whether you're carrying, not carrying, whether you have an axe in your area for home defense, or for personal protection, or if you choose to have something archaic like a World War II era Mosin that some idiot cut the barrel down, put a front sight on, and then somehow got lucky enough to have this thing perfectly freaking sighted in for 50 yards with his JB welded front sight. I'll do a video on this someday. It is so fun. And terrible at the same time. $150, and yeah, anyway. Whatever you choose, get to know it. Gotta go. See you guys.